AskReddit Daily. What's a simple thing someone can do to better their life? Compliment people behind their backs. It seriously reduces the drama you have to deal with in your day-to-day life. Especially do it to coworkers. I've made an effort in my life to always do this. If I'm talking about you and you aren't in the room, then it's always complimentary. I've never spoken about someone in a negative way behind their back and always try to speak positively when people aren't present in a conversation. But it doesn't matter because I'm a to their face. Mom. Sufficient sleep and hobbies. So just make sleep your hobby then. This is how my depression tricks me. Shitty life pro tips. Be depressed to get more sleep. And the best part is, you'll sleep so poorly you'll still be tired when you wake up. Stop, this hurts. Have achievable short-term goals, and reward yourself appropriately when you achieve them. Whenever I complete a task on my list, I allow myself 10 minutes on Reddit. Makes the day go faster. Funny, it is the exact reverse for me. I allow myself 10 minutes of work for every 8 hours of Reddit. Days won't go by fast though. Days drag and years fly by. Show up on time. People feel that their time is respected if you do, and you keep adding to your accountability and credibility bank. The people that are late will never take this advice. In their mind, the process of leaving and going somewhere is more important than being on time. Took me 10 years studying someone to figure this out. It still mystifies me. Some things can't be helped, but I know someone who was recently 90 minutes late to a dinner they planned. How? I have a coworker who shows up 15 minutes late to appointment with specific times and people are waiting on her. She doesn't even call. I have to call her. No apologies. She literally doesn't give a f about others' time. Why is she still employed? Drink more water. Or you might die. Open some blinds, my dude, and let some sunshine in your house in the mornings. It always made me happy. Scotland here. I've opened the blinds, but can you elaborate on this sunshine? Awaiting further instructions. Instructions unclear. Taps now if. Exercise. It really helps if you're dedicated and consistent with it. A weird way I convinced my lazy self to do this was by telling myself I will only work out for a few minutes or go for a short run. Once you begin, you most likely want to keep going. Similarly with work and procrastination. Tell yourself you will only work for 5 minutes. You will find you will be working for much longer. Create a budget. There are so many free tools available online that it really is simple. Take a few minutes each day to monitor your spending/saving and you'll thank yourself later. Accurate. So many of my friends, late 20s, have no clue what is happening in their finances. They consider if they end a month within their bank account, so they didn't use credit, they were financially responsible, which is the first step, but they don't seem to realize they could be doing more. When you start tracking your expenses, you realize where money is going, whether you like it going there, and you can start tracking and saving and work towards bigger goals. Personally, I loved reading Your Money or Your Life. It's a little old. Last chapter of investment advice may not be as relevant, but a lot of the consciousness it brings to your spending is still applicable. Consciously try to make someone else's day better. It will almost always make you feel better too. I try to do one major act of kindness a week. Usually I'll just mysteriously give people gift cards for coffee when I see they are having a bad day, but even just something small like complimenting someone makes a difference. Be more honest, but don't be a douchebag about it. This is a concept that escapes so many people. It is entirely possible to be honest without being an asshole. Oftentimes it's literally just reordering your words. Delve into your fantasies every once in a while. As people get older, they tend to lose a lot of that spirit which allows them to sit around thinking of amazing things. Picture some fun stuff. Picture some impossible things which, although they don't exist in the real world, do exist in your mind. Although it's important to keep a firm perspective on the real world, let yourself daydream a little. Better yet, put it down on paper. Write a little story. Draw a picture. One of the best things about humans is their ability to be creative. I think it's important to never lose that creativity. You never know. You could be sitting on an imagination which is capable of creating best-selling novels or world-class paintings. This is why I love Dungeons and Dragons. I get to explore a new world and a new persona along with getting the human interaction we all need as well. Remind yourself of the good things you have. Even if it's something as simple as a roof over your head, the bed you sleep in, or the phone you use to browse Reddit with. Also, acknowledge positive things about yourself. Whether it be your hair, your style of clothing or something you accomplished when you were younger. It sounds cheesy, but for those of us who focus more on the negative aspects of life, it does help to remind yourself that there are hidden gems in there too. And it's important to take notice of them. ETA, if you are struggling with something, it's perfectly okay to acknowledge your pain, anger, sadness, etc. and allow yourself time to work through it. Reminding yourself of the positives is just to keep you from getting completely bogged down in the negativity. Declutter your living space. It's not exactly easy the first time, but when you get rid of the things you don't ever use, minus a collection, it really clears your head. This made a huge difference for me. I always hated tidying up and cleaning because it involved moving so much stuff around. After decluttering, I had more clear surfaces, quick and easy cleaning, and I find less decorations visually calming. Imagine every item made a tiny noise. What do you hear? Can you hear the voices of the things you really like? The memories they share and the promises of future events? Or a cacophony of the shrill voices of random things everywhere? Don't ignore their mental health. It is everything. Totally agree. Took me way too long to deal with some of my anxiety issues. Now I look back on all that time I was putting off dealing with it and see it as such a waste. Be willing to give genuine apologies when you are wrong. No excuses, no justifications, just, I screwed up by doing X. I see now that it affected you this way. I should have done Y. I am sorry. This shows that you have thought about it from their perspective, care how they feel, and want to do better by them. Apologies that start with justifications or excuses often feel hollow to the recipient. Reading a book. Adding on to this, it doesn't matter what you read, comics, audiobooks, romance novels, yeah, whatever. Just read, engage your brain with a creative world, or expand with some knowledge. Reading is so valuable and it seems a lot of people have some standard. If you enjoy it, nothing else matters. Try at least one new thing every week. It's all fun and games until week 362 when you get pegged. Don't hold on to anger. Leave the house 10 to 20 minutes earlier than originally planned. Why? I find leaving at the right time works very well for me. This only works if you plan your trips appropriately, are obscenely lucky with transit, or don't give a shit if you're late. Ideally it's the first one, which is what I aim for. Stop drinking. Tomorrow is my 4-month sober date and my life has been on an upward trajectory since then. Save your money. I was paying off a loan $100 a month, and once I finished paying it I just got that same amount to go straight to savings now. Delete Facebook. Getting up earlier than needed before work, so one has about an hour of me time to do whatever you wanna do before the rest of the world wakes up. I do this, except I cut out the waking up part and spend that extra me time on sleep. I always use these threads to motivate myself, and then do nothing. Because most of the things people suggest are either not that simple after all, too vague, or already too obvious. Like, we all know sleep and exercise is good for you. If I'm not doing these things already, then there's a good chance there's a reason why that isn't just a simple fix. Be a spectator of your thoughts. Be a watcher. Detach and look inward. Be the atmosphere, not the cloud. You have been visited by the toothbrushing papa. Like this video and subscribe to keep your gums clean.